I have fallen further than I had before. But now I'm crawling, and I don't have the strength to get up off that floor. I'm giving into it, I'm living in it, embracing all the pain. Can't run from it, I can't numb it, I won't medicate. I'm still learning and growing. I am not who I was before. I'm done hiding from all my failures. Wait and see my masterpiece. Bruised and torn, all my broken parts falling like they collide, all to take me away to be. So I thank my lucky scars. I thank my lucky scars. If I feel it, if I feel the pain, then I am still alive. And if I'm living, wanna give it all, not simply survive. I'm leaning into it, I'm breathing in it, inhaling all that hurt. 'Cause walking away, it'd all be in vain, and that would hurt much worse. Oh, I am not who I was before. I am done hiding from all my failures. Wait and see my masterpiece. Bruised and torn, all my broken hearts falling like they collide, all to take me where I'm meant to be. So I thank my lucky stars. I thank my lucky stars. Oh, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm still learning and growing. I've fallen out so much, but hell, I showed up. I'm much better off knowing I'm not who I was before. I'm done hiding from all my failures. Wait and see my masterpiece. Bruised and torn, all my broken parts falling like they collide, all to take me where I'm meant to be. So I thank my lucky stars. I thank my lucky stars. I thank my lucky stars. I have fallen further than I had before. But now I'm crawling, and I don't have the strength to get up off that floor. I'm giving into it, I'm living in it, embracing all the pain. Can't run from it, I can't numb it, I won't medicate. I'm still learning and growing. I am not who I was before. I'm done hiding from all my failures.
All right, all right, all right. We are on the live again, and we are here to chill and to learn. I am so happy that you are on there here live too. Just click the share button, click the like button, and let's enjoy this stream together. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure that you are enjoying just like I am right here. So let's do this. Click the share button, click the like button, the thumbs up, and let's give it a roll. Let's make sure that we get other people on the live. If you're watching on the replay, also make sure that you also share. Click the share, click the like, and that way we will all roll together. All right, we got an interesting topic today and we're just going to hit it as soon as possible. But as I said, just make sure you click. I'm going to share it, and I'm hoping that you can also share it just as I am, because if you don't share it, then we are wasting time. We want to make sure that other people are seeing the stream. So just make sure that you share it right now, like I am doing. Yes, 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 yes. Just share the stream. Click the share. Click the share. Click the share right now, and let's make sure that other people can see it. We got an interesting topic, and we want to make sure that everybody else can see the stream. So let's click the share button and let's move on right with the show. I know that we have a subject matter that is definitely going to make us think different from how we used to think, and therefore I just want to make sure that we don't miss people on this live. So click the share, click the thumbs up, and call your friends. Let's roll with this stream together. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, so we're gonna hit the ball rolling. And as I said, if you if you haven't shared, I'm just gonna click one more time, make sure that we are sharing. I'm just gonna copy the link, post it on your Facebook or your YouTube, wherever you socialize, on the social media platforms. Make sure that everybody has seen the stream, because that's how we can get the message out. It will be not nice for you to just watch it alone, because it's an information, a piece of information that is able to help a lot of us. All right, so let's keep the ball rolling. I think I've shared a few, and if you also share a few, we are going to roll with a lot of people. Share on your Facebook stream, on Facebook platform, as well as on your LinkedIn, wherever you are watching from, YouTube, or wherever it is you're watching from. All right, so let's move on to the show. So today, as we always begin, we start off with the health tip for the week, and we're going to talk about just one tip, because there's a video coming up on the channel, and you can go back. You can go back to it and watch the full details later on. So the health tip for this week is that this week, naturally in the news, um, in February, I should say, in February, there's a new research out there that is saying that potential overuse, I should say, too much use, I should say, of laxatives has been found to be associated with increased risks of dementia. So we know dementia is one of the leading causes among the elderly, and of course, not just in the elderly, but in the elderly in particular. And in order to avoid dementia, we have to ensure that we don't use too much laxatives. There's going to be more details about this, and just something to let you look up to for the video that's coming up soon. We have found an association. When researchers talk about an association, it is basically not a proven link, but at least they have seen a link between people who use laxatives multiple times a week and who also develop dementia in their later lives. So that is a health tip there. So if you're using laxatives and you're using it too much, you probably should review your use of the laxatives. So that is a health tip for this week. All right, so let's move on right now to the real show as we go. All right, so today we are talking about something very important, as you may have already been alluded to. This is This is important, and it is about uh, how we can expand our businesses, how we can expand our um, enterprise. If you are in business, if you are in ministry, if you, whatever it is that you are undertaking, there's going to be a hack. We're going to learn a few hacks, what we call Solomon's model of ensuring that you grow in that enterprise, whether it is a ministry enterprise, whether it is a business enterprise. We particularly think it would be a business, right? Because Solomon was a prosperous man, a prosperous king, right? And so whatever things that King Solomon did that we can learn from, we are going to at least learn a few of them. We can use the stream to exhaust everything, but we're going to hit on three models that King Solomon, used to excel and to prosper. And those are the fundamental models, I should say. There are more. We can use another show to go through all the rest. But for now, three models that Solomon used, that is what we are going to hit on and study and see if we can apply to our own enterprise. When I say enterprise, I don't want to just limit it to business owners, because some people may not have business, they may not own any businesses, but they may be in church ministry, they may be in an administration, some form of administrative capacity, they may be in, it could even be with your health. If you want to take charge of your health, what are some of the things that you can do to master it and to make it grow, to make your effect more pronounced? All right, that is what we are going to talk about in this stream. It is very, very important. So, yes, let's see. I call it again Solomon's Solomon's way. And the topic or the title for our stream today is how to grow your business using Solomon's model. How to grow your business, or how to grow your enterprise, how to grow your ideas, how to grow your ministry, how to grow your administration, whatever it is that you're doing, how to excel in this using Solomon's profound models. And it is important that we learn these models that Solomon actually used. All right, so as we move forward, let's see. So the first one we're going to talk about is the wisdom model. Model number one for Solomon is wisdom. Everybody knows this, right? But how do you leverage wisdom? And not everybody is wise, I should say. Unfortunately, that's how life is. Not everybody is wise. But if you don't have wisdom, we're going to talk about how to acquire wisdom. What is wisdom? How to acquire wisdom, and how to leverage wisdom to excel in business. That is deep. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about model number two, which is sacrifice. How can Solomon use the model of sacrifice to excel in business? Sacrifice. Can Solomon use the model of sacrifice to excel in business? How are we going to be able to leverage sacrifice in our enterprise, whether it's ministry, business, marriage, whatever it is that we are trying to excel in? And then the next one we're going to talk about, which will be the last one, would be model number three, which I call diversified ownership. Oh my goodness, This is huge. This is huge. Diversified ownership. Diversified ownership. How to use diversified ownership in excelling in business. And that is something deep. I hope you're going to be able to stay through the end, because this is deep stuff. It may take us a little bit, but if you want to excel, you got to make the investment. And this investment is just an investment of time for you and I to go through these slides so that we can actually hit everything. So don't leave the stream. If anything, share and invite other people, because these are fundamental things that everybody that aspires to prosper, excel, in any enterprise should know. So that is what we are going to do. Three of them, three models. I'm saying there's more, but we're going to do, because of time, within the next hour, we're going to do wisdom as a model for business, sacrifice as a model for business, and diversified ownership as a model for business. All right. So let's start with wisdom. First model is wisdom, right? Wisdom, as we may know is the application of knowledge. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. Everybody, I'm pretty sure, is aware of that. Wisdom is the application of knowledge, right? It is as simple as that. If you have knowledge, you can apply wisdom, you can apply knowledge, the application of knowledge. If you use knowledge, then you become wise. So some people have knowledge, some people have gone to school to acquire a huge stack of knowledge, pieces of information that are useful. But until you apply the knowledge to a situation, such as your enterprise, such as your business, that wisdom, I mean, you don't have wisdom. You have just knowledge. You have acquired knowledge. So, in order to be called wise, in order to use wisdom in enterprise, in entrepreneurship, in business, in starting up something, in administration, in marriage, in whatever it is, in order for you to be able to excel with wisdom, like King Solomon, you have to apply the knowledge that you have acquired and use it to do the things that you need to do. That is when you become called wise. So having knowledge in itself is not enough, but you have to apply knowledge in order to be able to be wise. Now, everyone is endowed with some kind of knowledge here or there, whether through school or through association. Because you roll with some people, you have some knowledge of some sort. But until you apply it to business, to apply it to an enterprise, to apply it to some kind of an entrepreneur duty, you will have all the stacks of knowledge and still not be wise. So knowledge is wisdom is the application of knowledge. Knowledge not applied is not wisdom. All right, so that is wisdom. That is how we want to say wisdom is. The next thing is, so how do we apply wisdom for our knowledge? How do we apply if we have knowledge and we want to use it? The first thing we should look at, as I was alluding to earlier on, everybody has some kind of a trait. You have some kind of a skill. You have some kind of unique idea, unique strength that or ability that we can call as your own strength, your own particular strength. So if you have a business, if you want to be in business, if you want to achieve some excellence of some sort, look within and see what particularly places you at a unique advantage to achieve a goal, to achieve a business. You may not even have a business yet, but there is this particular thing that you know how to do. It comes naturally for you. You didn't have to go for any training. You didn't have to go to any school. You didn't have to do anything for that particular skill, but you have it naturally. That is where it begins. Once you can identify that particular trait or skill, that particular talent, what we call talent, that particular use, that particular thing that seems to be not readily available to anybody, but for you comes naturally, you can apply that. That is when we talk about as wisdom. So you apply your specific, unique position that you have, your specific, unique advantage that you have into a situation, into an enterprise, whether it is a ministry, whether it is a business, whether it's in administration, whether it is in leadership, wherever it is, you have to look within. Everybody has something. Everybody has some kind of knowledge. Remember, I didn't say everybody has wisdom. Not everybody has wisdom, but everybody has knowledge. Everybody has some kind of a unique position in terms of an ability to do something special that comes to them naturally. They may not, as I said, may not have gone to school for it. Everybody has a flair of doing something one or the other, which makes it easier. I mean, it comes easier for them compared to other people. Once you are able to apply that to your business, once you're able to apply that to your enterprise, once you're able to apply that to your unique situation, that administration, that marriage, that particular idea that you want to do, that is when we are talking about using the model called wisdom. So you may have all the knowledge, all right, but until you apply it like Solomon, you do not have wisdom. You do not have wisdom. And so as we move forward, we will understand why we call this a model for Solomon. The other thing is that after identifying and knowing your particular strength, it is also important to know that you don't know it all. Oh my goodness. It is also important to know that you don't know everything. You don't know everything. Some people feel like they know everything. You may not know everything, but the good thing and what we want to share with you today is that the fact that you don't know everything doesn't mean you should go out there and telling people, I don't know anything. I don't know anything. No. There's one thing that I like about the United States. Here in our culture, the culture is such that if you talk to even a little boy who doesn't know anything, I wanted to use a word, but I can't use a right word, who doesn't know nothing, I should say, and you are, having a conversation, I can bet you that within 5 minutes of a conversation, if you can talk for that long, that little boy will tell you, I know. They may not have any clue what you're saying, but you will hear the word I know. Nobody wants to admit their ignorance in front of anybody. And if you are going to be in business, if you are going to excel, you do not admit your shortcomings, I should say, your lack of understanding in certain areas of your business. You do not have to admit it before your customers. Oh my goodness. My goodness. You don't have to admit your shortcomings, your lack of understanding of certain issues, your lack of knowledge in certain areas to people who are potential buyers or to people who are potentially going to be served by your business. You should not admit it before them. But there's one person you have to admit before, and that person is God. But before men, you know how people are there and are able, specialize in criticizing you, critiquing you, and telling you that you cannot do this. So if you feed into that vibe that people already have of you, trust me, I can tell you that you are not going to go anywhere. And that is why you refuse to admit your weaknesses, your lack of information, your lack of skill in certain areas of your enterprise before people. Don't. They are not going to be your helpers. The people who can help you, first starting with your God, yeah, be humble before God and say, hey, I have no clue what this is. And we're going to see why we're calling this Solomon's model of wisdom. We're going to go forward and we will know why we're saying this. And among people who are experts, people who are saying that, you know what, I want to, people who are expert in your field, who may be able to benefit you in terms of how to do what you want to do, how to excel in what you want to do. Those people, you can tell them, hey, I lack this, I need this information, I need help. Those people will be in a position to help you. Why? Because for them, they are the experts. You don't need to tell them that you don't know. They will actually see if you don't know because by their own expertise, they will know that you lack this. So it is fine to be able to admit that, hey, I'm lacking this information, I'm lacking this skill in front of experts, but not in front of your regular customers, not in front of people who are already potentially positioned to judge you and to look down on you, and family members who are already telling you that you cannot do it. You go up to them again and tell them, I don't think I can do it. Then you are feeding into the negativity that is going to be thrown at you. So the key here is in this model of wisdom, you admit not having the knowledge that you have that you need before experts, starting with God, and then the experts wherever they may be, who may be a source of help for you. For them, you humble yourself and they may be able to impact onto you. If you go before an expert and you're already being cocky, oh, I know this, I know that. Of course, if you do, then go ahead and do what you want to do. But if you admit to them that, hey, I think I may be lacking some kind of skill in this area, then the experts may be able to help you. So before experts, you can admit it, but not before your potential customers or consumers, not before people who already may be judging you. So that is a key about the model called wisdom. In wisdom, you admit before God who gives wisdom and before people who may potentially benefit you in training and impartation, but not before the people who do not have any help in that regard for you. So that is how we move forward with model number one, wisdom. Now, having said that, there is going to be a way you have to seek wisdom, right? Now, the key with Solomon was he was wise. As we said, everybody knows he was wise, but he didn't just become wise, he sought wisdom. Solomon sought wisdom. And so, the first key under seeking wisdom and excellence in this model of wisdom is to roll with the wise. Um, I think it's in Proverbs. Proverbs say that a company of fools, if you are in a company of fools, excuse me to say, you are going to be foolish, right? If you are in a company of the cocky, you're just going to be noisy, loud, and basically doing nothing, right? Because you are rolling with those that are not wise. But if you need to get wisdom, if you need to seek wisdom, the first thing is to seek it going along with those who are already wise, who are already wise, and that is the key. So let's go to the second way is that you also seek training. So the first one, you roll with the wise, ask experts, ask those who have wisdom, who are able to give it to you. That is the first model. That's how to get a first model. Seek it, ask it, look for it in the right places. And the next thing is train. Get yourself into some form of training where you acquire information, which is knowledge, and then thereby after the training, after that, applying it to your enterprise, your business, your ministry, your marriage, administration, or whatever it is that you are handling. So let's move on with the first one. So in this verse in the Bible, from remember we are going with the key of what Solomon had for business, right? In First Kings 3:7-9, it is written that now, O Lord, my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David. But I am only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Verse 8. Your servant is here among the people who you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong. For who is able to govern this great people of yours? Literally, King Solomon, whose models for business we are looking at, he was called to be a king at a younger age. And as you can tell from that reading we had, he is saying, or he went to God to seek wisdom. He went to seek wisdom. Remember that if you lack something, if you can admit it in front of those who can give you, that is the key. That is the first key to success. If you do not even know that you lack it and you do not go to the right places to get it, you are doomed. But Solomon recognized the fact that he needed wisdom to rule on the people on whom he has become king. Being a child, being young, being a child here does not necessarily mean the young age, but being a novice, you are maybe trying to be in a business, you have this great idea to establish a media company. You have this great idea to, to be in finance, to be in insurance, to be in real estate, to be in whatever kind of business, a ministry, whatever it is. You have the great idea, but when it comes to doing that thing, though you may be well positioned with regards to your ability to establish rapport with people, communicate, but you lack the basic understanding when it comes to doing business in that area, that in itself will call you a child in this area. So that is what Solomon saying, that your servant, a child, being a king over these people literally means. So being a child is being a novice, being not experienced in the area that you want to excel in, or admitting at least you have some need. Even if you know something, you have an opening where you can fail. Being a child is recognizing that fact. And then after recognizing it, seeking where you can get the resource. And that is what Solomon did. So if you want to be excellent in business, if you want to be excellent in ministry, you want to be excellent in marriage, whatever issue or area that you're trying to excel at, until and unless you recognize that you need to seek help from where you are lacking. Seek help from, for to fill where the vacuum is in your life in that particular area. You cannot do anything. We always call, Solomon, he was the best. Solomon was the wisest. He did not just become wise, he sought wisdom. And this is the key that we read. He said, he went to God and said, you look at me, I'm a child. When it comes to domination, when it comes to rulership, when it comes to being a leader, when it comes to ruling over these great people of Israel, I am but a novice. I am but a child. So, in the same manner, when it comes to the area that you want to go, you got to come down to the point where you can go to God and go to experts and let them know that, hey, I need help in this area. If you pride yourself in the little position that you have, in the little things that you know, and do not seek the help, you are not going to make it that far. I mean, you can make it some, but not to the extent where Solomon made. And that is where we want to be at. We want to excel. That's why we are looking at the model of Solomon, the king Solomon, the wise king. The wise king did not become wise right off the bat. He started becoming wise after he sought to be wise. And so that is the key that we want to make sure that we are looking at. Make sure that you are seeking wisdom where it can be found, knowing that you lack certain things, looking at yourself as a child in this area, in this enterprise. Or if you are proud and you don't seek help, if you are proud and you don't look for external help, your idea may die with you because you never sought to grow it, you never sought to excel or expand it, you never sought the help of experts. And again, not from people who cannot help you, but from people who can help you. God being the number one if you are religious, and if you are not, experts be your number one. I hope you believe in God, so you definitely know what we are talking about here. So that is the first step. The second one is seek wisdom by training. Seek wisdom by training, and by training, it could be taking some classes in the area that you want to you want to do. You want to do business at, seeking some certification. So for some of us, we got to go back to school. Not go back to school to, when we say go back to school, no, I'm not talking about going back to register for college and no, but going back to school in terms of the area that you want to excel in. Excelling in that area, trying to mobilize, knowledge, and then applying the knowledge to make wisdom in the area that you're trying to focus on. You got to seek training, and in training, you leverage the use of the internet, the information superhighway. It makes more sense now when we call the internet information superhighway, because any form of training that you want, you can find it on there. Be it college classes that you want to take online, be it some certification that you need to take online, you can still find all those things online. So leverage the use of internet for growing your talent, for growing your skill, for that business idea that you have, for that ministry. Do not just be just yourself and not excel, but leverage the use of internet. There are several master classes on there online. People have specialty in certain areas, and they sell classes. We call it master class. You buy it, and some of them you keep it for good. Refer to them and ensure that you excel in those things that you want to excel in, because you want to be uniquely, prosperous in that business, in that venture, in that enterprise. And so you got to mobilize all those pieces of information that will come handy when you launch out, or as you launch out. The other thing is online degrees, as I've said, and then online certification programs that you can use to excel. So that is how you excel in knowledge and in wisdom, as a model one for Solomon using that. Remember, Solomon sought wisdom. He did not just become wise right off the bat. He sought wisdom from God, and he did other things that made him wise. But for this purpose, we are saying that model one, seek wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, acquire the knowledge and apply the knowledge in your unique situation, that business enterprise, or wherever you want to do, and then ensure that you move forward in that regard. So the next thing is sacrifice. Model number two, sacrifice. And I like this model so much. My goodness. We actually spoke about this in church today. But that is the next thing, is sacrifice. Sacrifice. And this is something that is also uniquely available to people who want to follow Solomon's excellence. Learn to sacrifice. Learn to sacrifice. If you are in business and you are not sacrificing enough, you are not going to go far. If you are in ministry and you are not sacrificing enough, you're not going to go far. If you are in any enterprise, marriage, and you're not sacrificing enough, you're not going to go anywhere. Because sacrifice is a unique, in fact, it is a divine situation. Sacrifice is a divine thing. If you are able to sacrifice to some extent, you enter the realms of the divine, and because you do that, you receive help from here and from heaven. And we're going to go through that quickly. So share the stream if you are just joining, and let's stick to this together because this is huge, huge, huge. Yes. So now the model number two, after model number one, wisdom, the model number two is sacrifice. And sacrifice, the first key in sacrifice is delayed gratification. To delay gratification. Delay gratification. If you are in business and you want to eat your cake and have it right up the bat as the business starts, you are not going to go any far. I know of a business woman who wanted to just go abroad, take some stuff from this place, this country, and Dubai. They just go to Dubai with huge capital, go to China with huge capital, and buy some stuff and bring it, and then sell and make profit. But the lifestyle of this business person wasn't cut out for this, because this person was one that wants to wear all the clothes that they bought, one that wants to use all the vehicles that they got, because they could not delay the fact that this is supposed to be in business. How can I just buy this and sell and I don't have it? They do not have that part of the deal in mind. They don't have the ability to delay their own gratification, and so a little money that they make, they spend it. I'm seeing all these vehicles, all these clothes that I'm buying and selling to people, and I can wear any of them. Yes, if you are in business, if you are in an enterprise, you cannot just wear it. You cannot just spend the money that belongs to the business on yourself. So that is what we call delayed gratification. Now, Solomon knew that. Solomon knew that, and it's one of the things that we call together as a model called sacrifice. So, if you want to excel in business, you got to learn to delay your gratification. If you do not want to delay your gratification, then I can tell you that you are not going to go far, because you are not going to be able to, invest the profits that the business bring back into the business. You are going to see, oh, my company made this money. Let's use that money right off the bat. This is profit here. Let me just spend it. You do not delay your own gratification. You just want to be gratified right away. You just want to see the profits being used by yourself, and for not too long, when the business goes down, you are going down with it because you did not make any extra investment in the company or in the enterprise, and so you lose it. So the first thing about model two, which is sacrifice, is to delay gratification. Delay your own gratification. It is huge, 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 huge. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is to deliberately give. Sacrifice, remember, sacrifice, we're talking about it today. Sacrifice is actually giving something that hurts you, or losing something that makes you feel like you lost something. If you gave and it doesn't hit you, you haven't really sacrificed, right? And so give. If you are in business, you got to be able to make sure that you make a plan of the business to give, even if it's in the business's own money, not just your own money, but give out. That is another model that Solomon saw, and we're going to see it right now. Let's read something here. uh, I'm not there in three yet, but at least before we go to three. So what happens if you do not give? What happens if you do not give? You become the only person who actually benefits. Your company is benefiting only the company and the people that work for the company that you probably pay. But that is not how it's supposed to work. That is not how it's supposed to work. If you are in sacrifice, you are in model number two, you give and it costs the company something. That is the key. It costs the company something. It's got to cost you. If it doesn't cost you, then you are not giving at all. It has to cost the company. So as you design your business enterprise, begin to think about how can you give from this business to benefit the poor. How can you give from this business to benefit the poor? How? What can you do to make sure that these big multinationals that we see, they have their own foundations, and what they do is they present annual reports, and you can read them, and they tell you how much money they spent either on the environment. If it's not the environment, it may be some kind of a course, education, to even talk about people who are not already in business who made it. Bill Gates going around the world and giving money to courses like HIV research, malaria research, his own money. Now, if such a person is making money, you think that it's just natural, but it is a thing that Solomon saw, and that makes you excel when you sacrifice. So Solomon sacrificed. Solomon did sacrifice. I think I have a thing here that we can probably read. Solomon did sacrifice a lot, a lot, a lot. Let me just see if we can read this right quick. So when we read, we can just skip the first few. Let's go to um, verse number 8. It says that your servant is here among the people. Let me see if I can get the right place to start from. Let me just start from the 7. 7 says that now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of my father David, but I'm only a little child and do not know how to carry out my duties. Your servant is here among the people you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to count or number. So give your servant a discerning heart. This is when he was asking for the wisdom, right? Now, verse 10. The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked this, and then he gave him the wisdom. He gave him enough that he could not even think about. So that is that one. But I'm looking for another place where so the Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked this. And because he asked that, he said, I'm going to give you more and more, including long life. I'll give you a wise and discerning heart so that there will be no, there will never be anyone like you on the earth. So I'm still looking for where I got another one. I think it's this one right here. Now, my slides may have been uh, uh, misplaced in this particular one. But basically, what it is, we know the story of Solomon. We know the story of Solomon. What it is that Solomon, in 1 year, his first time in 1 year, he sacrificed 1,000 cattle, 1,000 cows, if that's right, 1,000 cattle. He killed and burned a sacrifice of 1,000 in one time. Sacrifice. Now, don't tell me that because he was a king, it didn't hit him. It hit him. It actually bothered him because it is bought with money. It is something that he got with money. He may have been the king, all right, but it still cost him. So sacrificing in business now gives you an upper hand because it makes your business become or play the role of the divine. I don't know if you are catching it. If your business makes a deal in its budget to give maybe a tenth, what we call the tithe, to to healthcare, to the destitute, to the poor, poor in Africa, poor in America, poor wherever. If your business makes that deliberate and conscious effort to budget and help some people, you may not be big enough to transfer huge sums of money to a country, but even in your own place where you are, there are poor people around, the bad neighborhoods around. If your business can make it a point, like Solomon did, to sacrifice, your business is going to be acting like God, because it is the duty of God to take care of those who are poor, who are destitute, who are struggling, and who are finding difficulty in life. So in your own little thing, if you can carve out a portion of your business income, just like the multinationals are doing, where they give huge sums of money, or we're giving towards HIV research, we're giving towards the environment. They are doing the work that God would do. because who else would do it? Everybody is taking care of themselves. So if your business creates that that standard of giving and sacrificing its own profit, some kind of a profit, say 10% of your profit, giving it to charity, giving it to the work of helping people, you enter into the realms of the divine. And that is where I'm talking about. In this sense, God is going to help you. You are also going to receive divine help to grow because you are expanding apart from your own ability. You are getting divine help. You are getting divine, unique ideas that will help you to be able to grow. So sacrifice is deep. Sacrifice is deep. And the businesses that perpetually do that, those businesses continue to thrive. Look at stingy businesses will collapse because they have no reach, no impact on the environment, nothing to do with anybody. All they do is themselves and their shareholders. You don't even hear their names because their culture, the business culture, that's the key word I was looking for. Their business culture is to it's just grab from the people, grab from the people, grab from the people. But Solomon's model was a model that sacrificed. Now, in this same Solomon, this man also gave after he had built the temple and was dedicating the temple. This guy gave 22,000 cattle, 22,000 male cattle, I should say. We call them bulls. 22,000 in those olden days. Even now, we cannot afford 22,000. I'm telling you, if I tell you to, calculate how much 22,000 cattle will be now that agriculture is using mechanized, implements and, easy engineering, we can still not buy for cheap 22,000 cattle. But this man, because of his particular wisdom that God has given him for business, he sacrificed 22,000 of them to God, and that gave him something. That's what we are going to look at. What he actually benefited from. That's going to take us to our next model, which is model number 3. See if I can get to model number 3 right quick. Model number 3. So model number 3, we are going to read that diversified ownership. Model number 3 is diversified ownership. What do I mean by diversified ownership? Solomon did not just create a kingdom where he took complete ownership of everything. Solomon's model was to involve those around him, was to involve the key people that will make his kingdom expand. Of course, he couldn't do it all, but he realized that early. And because he did that, he grew bigger and bigger. So those of us who are in business, we want to do it all alone. If I'm doing this live show and my wife is home, she will not be let down. I mean, she will not be left alone to stay home while I do this. I involve her. And that is for a reason, Solomon's reason. Involve those around. Because when those people around you are involved, they tend to be concerned about the input as well as the output. Because for businesses, whether or not you like it, if a business grows, the rewards are going to come not just for you, your family is going to enjoy it. So why don't you involve them when you are struggling in the beginning? Why don't you involve the people who are going to benefit? They may not show the key interest because you do not let them feel. You are probably not letting them feel that they can do it. But if you can share that dream, that idea, that business enterprise, that plan with them and say that, Jack, let's do this. Honey, let's do this. Let's do this. We can do this. And you involve them, they are going to own, they are going to be part owners. That's what we call diversifying the ownership of the business. They're going to be part owners of the company, of the business, of the enterprise, of the marriage, of the administration, of the ministry, or whatever it is you're doing. Let them be part ownership. Let them form part of the ownership structure of the company. By that, they become stakeholders. So make your family become stakeholders in the business entity, that enterprise that you're doing. Do not go alone. They may not show the interest, but give them the fun part in the business that they may like to do. Don't go alone. And then the next one that I want us to do, this is where we actually read something also that proves that Solomon was doing this. Now, Solomon According to Second Chronicles 7:4-6. Then the king and all the people offered sacrifice. And if you see, I highlighted the part that says, and all the people. The king and his priests alone could have done the sacrifice, but he wanted diversified ownership. He wanted the people to feel part of that success, part of the things that they're about to do. He wanted them to take ownership. I remember the company that I worked for, at some point, there was a training that they made us do. And doing this thing made me actually understand why. They said, take ownership. When you are there, you own the place. When you are there, you own the place. You feel big. Hey, I own the place? Yes. The sense of creating an ownership of the entity in you, that sense of creating that in you forces you to think more like, if it was yours, how would you do it? Rather than to treat employees like you work for me and I decide to do what I want with you. Set companies don't do well. They have high turnovers. Why? Because the people don't feel like they own the resource. They don't own the inputs. They don't own the profits. They don't own the day-to-day running of the business. And Solomon sought this in Model 3. He diversified ownership of the kingdom to the masses of the people. And so when we read, it says that, and the king and all the people, not some of the people, all the people. You don't need a whole nation to sacrifice, but Solomon did. Why? Because he wanted them to be part owners of the kingdom. So, and then when we can continue to read, it says that the sacrifice before the Lord, and King Solomon offered a sacrifice of 22,000 head of cattle and 120,000 sheep. That's what we were also talking about earlier. They sacrificed 120,000 sheep, 122,000 heads of cattle. Now, another highlight here that shows part ownership or diversified ownership. So the king and all the people dedicated the temple of God. Temple dedication, you don't need a people. You don't need masses of people to dedicate. But because of diversified ownership, because he wanted them to own the temple, because he wanted them to feel a part of the business, because he wanted them to feel a part of the enterprise, this is what Solomon did. He made the people, he said, the king and all the people dedicated the temple. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. I don't know if you are getting it. My goodness, I am getting something right here. The king and all the people dedicated the temple. He did not go alone. So that business you're doing, don't go alone. Involve that family. As a matter of fact, for tax purposes, people advise that employ your children and pay them and deduct it. If nothing at all, employ them. And why do you employ them? You are making them part owners. You hear businesses that call Twilight and Sons, whatever business you can call, and Sons. All that it means is that they are involving their family. Not only are they going to bequeath the business to them, but right from now, while it is in existence, they are involving them in the day-to-day running of the business. So you would see companies in the US that have been passed on from generations to generations. If the people that are handling it now were not involved while they were younger, I'm telling you that they would sell the company because they would not know how it runs. And even if they knew, they don't feel part of it. They don't know how it works. And the business will end with the first initial owners. So sell that dream to family and people around you, and even employees that you employ. When you get that big, remember to let them feel part owners of the company. And this is how some multinationals have also done. Now they sell, they call it stock options for the executives. So when the executives of the company do a lot more work, and the company makes more profit, and their stocks go up, they buy the stock price. They buy the shares of the company at a greatly reduced price. Stock option, giving them benefits because they are part owners of the company, even though they may be employed executives that came on. So they are using the model of diversified ownership in Solomon's model to actually grow. They probably don't know that's what they were doing, but that is a model that Solomon teaches us. So use the people. And the other thing is, when you do that, well, we're not done yet. Let's keep going. As the Levites, so the king and all the people dedicated the temple. The priests took their positions, as did the Levites with the Lord's musical instruments, which King David had made for praising the Lord, and which were used when he gave thanks, saying, um, his love endures forever, and that's the song that they began to sing. So doing this makes it easier. Now, it is also another trick of business. During the assembly line era, when things were made, factories passed on things. This person will be the rapper, this person will be the canner, this person will be the boxer, this person will be the polisher, and on an assembly line, business achieved greater productivity because they involved others. They sold ownership to the other people in the business. So that is Solomon's model that has actually grown to all that area. The other thing is that diversified ownership means to sell part ownership of the company to potential owners. This is for real. This is not just making people feel a part of it, but actually, especially in this regard, making God be a part owner. I'm talking about divine. We're talking about Solomon here. So it's not just physical, but things that will invoke the spiritual in terms of helping you achieve greater things with the spiritual. So as we wrap up, this is one thing that we want to also add to part or ownership or diversified ownership. Now, when you read in Second Chronicles, the same place we're reading, but from the verse 11 to 12, it says that when Solomon had finished the temple of the Lord and the royal palace, and he had succeeded in carrying out all he had all he had in mind to do in the temple of the Lord and in his own palace, the Lord appeared to him at night. My goodness. My goodness. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Now, carefully here. He says, the Lord appeared to him at night and said, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a temple for sacrifice. Now, this is where I was looking for earlier that I couldn't find. When you make God, first of all, he gave, as we remember, Solomon's model of sacrifice included giving, right? Giving some of the company or some of the business or the enterprise, sacrificing on behalf of this enterprise so that you can invoke the divine help when you need it. Now, this is what happened after you do that. That brings a part ownership of the company, not just to your friends and your family and your business partners, but this brings a part ownership of the company to God. God becomes a stakeholder. Oh my goodness, my goodness. So let's see what it says over there at the last underlined sentence. It says that I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a temple. After Solomon made that commitment, that giving, that sacrifice that he did, 120,000, sheep and goats, and 22,000 cattle, just burning them all to sacrifice to God. He invoked the heavens, he invoked the divine to be part of his kingdom. And so God says that I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself. You want God to say that your company is my company. Oh, my. You want God, you want the divine help from on high to come and say that this thing you're doing, I am part of it. Even though you may be thinking that you are doing internet business, you may be thinking that you are building a school, you may be thinking that you are doing this small business. You may be thinking that this practice that you are opening is for yourself. You just trying to make ends meet. You're just trying to grow a little bit wealth here and there. That's what you may be thinking that you're doing. But God, because of the sacrifice, because of your severe commitment and making me a part owner, because you don't make somebody a part owner if you don't pay them. Hello, oh my, I hope you are here with me. Nobody is a part owner unless they are paid with the profits. That is why in the beginning we said that in sacrifice you pay part of the rewards of the company to God, to humanity, to HIV cause, to cancer treatment, to whatever cause it is. That work for which is actually belongs to God. When you begin to do that, or to even give it to ministers, to give it to churches, to plant churches, when you do those things, you are doing that which belongs to God. So you are paying God some of the profits which you realize from the business. In that regard, you have made God part of the company. So the divine owns part of the company, and he or the Spirit of God will ensure that you excel in that business. Why? Because you have made him part owner. He is a diversified owner. He is part of the owners of the company. Because if your company does well, guess what? You're going to pay a tithe on the company profits. Guess what? You're going to give to some church. You're going to give to some poor African kid who is going destitute. You're going to give to some Asian kid who is going destitute. You're going to give to some European kid who is going destitute. Some Indian kid who cannot go to school, who is walking barefoot, who is drinking bad water. Somebody who cannot take medicine, who does not have access to HIV medicine, who does not have access to malaria medicine. You are giving it. And because you're doing that, that is my job as a God. And because you are doing it with company profits, part of the company, not all of it. Trust me, not all of it. 10% or whatever of the company profit, you dedicated it in your company resolutions that this amount always goes to charity. And you're doing that, you make the divine a stakeholder in that company. And that is what Solomon did. And so now God says that I am part of the kingdom. This temple you have built, it's mine. It is not just you. You have given it, you have given me so much sacrifice that I own it too. And so if this place does well, I am also going to do well. Because guess what? I am part owner. Oh my goodness. And that is where we are going to wrap up this stream. Just making you aware of the fact that you can make the divine part owners of your company if you begin to cut out some amount of your profit. Now, if you wait till the company has blossomed, it may be difficult because all those other people who join may inhibit you. But right from the get-go, as you start, put it in the documents of the company and say that this company, we do well, we are going to do 10%. Apart from the taxes and everything, our incomes, our profits, we're going to make sure we give this amount to the destitute. We're going to focus on this kind of disease, on this kind of thing that nobody can help. We are going to do that. And people like Bill Gates are doing it from their own personal funds. So if you are starting a business and you start that way, you are going to make a difference. And not just are you going to make a difference, but the cool thing is that you sell a stake of that enterprise to the maker of man and woman, to the maker of the heavens and the earth. And that person will ensure that you are refreshed and that company is refreshed every now and then. I don't know, but some companies remain very innovative. There are some companies, any new ideas, they will bring it. There may be some people there, probably even just their shareholders, who are tithing good because whenever they make money, they are giving some portion of the money to God, serving humanity with it. And so they don't run out of ideas. They are going to continue to make room. They are going to continue to expand and grow. Why? Because they are dwelling on Solomon's model number 3, diversified ownership. They have included God, family, and anybody else that is useful in part owning the company. And so they are enriching their experience as a company. They have become innovative. Their shares are owned not just by people, but by the divine. Oh my. I hope you have gotten something today. And so we are going to wrap up today and say that if you have found this useful, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the share. Don't forget to like and if you are watching after the replay, same here. Don't forget to hit the share. Don't forget to hit the like. Make sure that you share with people who are business owners who are struggling to make it. Let them know that if they go through those 3 models of Solomon business models, then they are going to make it. There's more, but for now, these 3, we may go back and do more. These 3 are things that we believe for sure that if people do that, they are going to be able to ensure that they excel in their business. So like the stream, comment if you have any questions or additions, and share and subscribe. If you are not subscribed to our channel, you are missing out, man. My goodness. Just subscribe and then hit the bell button so that anytime we go live, you would see it and you will be able to join us on the live. We have shows on health, and we're going to transition slowly into health streams also in the near future. So as we do this to ensure that you do well, Remember, our reason is that God wants you to excel spiritually, physically, and materially. And so, with that, we will say that, beloved, we wish above all things that you prosper and be healthy, even as your soul is prospering. Thanks for watching. God bless you. And thanks for hanging around with us. Thank you.